The final step in onboarding a unit or adding a new user in Sprinklr is to create the user's seat account. To do this, we'll open a new page, scroll down to Users, click Add User, enter their name and their email address, for user type, there are 4 options. Global admins can access all features and all accounts. This should be strictly locked down, and only system admins within University Communication should be granted this access. Global users can have limited actions available to them, but can access all the accounts. Again, keep this locked down except wherein it's necessary. Workspace admins have higher level access to functionality, but it can still be controlled, and it's only within their specific workspace. When units only have 1 user seat, they'll need to be a workspace admin so that they can add and deactivate their accounts. Workspace users are the lowest tier of access. This is appropriate for units that have multiple seats, and some seats don't need full access, such as interns or junior level employees. The product seat will always be Sprinklr Social. Enter the unit's department name. If they have multiple seats and their manager is in Sprinklr, you can select them. If not, leave it blank. Feel free to add their phone number. You can leave homepage persona blank at this point. This is a feature that Sprinklr is rolling out to control what that homepage tab looks like. Feel free to use it or leave it blank. Make sure is active is selected. The other options can be left unchecked. Under properties, this is where you'll assign permissions. What permissions are granted depends on the level of access required. First, you'll assign the Sprinklr module access. All permissions is only for system admins within University Communication. That should only be given in limited cases. Settings as necessary if the unit only has 1 seat and the seat you're creating needs to have the ability to add and deactivate accounts. Every unit needs to have a seat that at least has that permission, or they won't be able to use Sprinklr. Monitoring dashboards are typically given to everyone. That enables them to see the engagement within their accounts. Reporting insights gives reporting functionality. Publishing is for publishing functionality. Asset management is for the asset manager. Listening Insights and Listening Explorer are 2 different options for our listening functionality. Listening Insights is limited to the analytics team within University Communications with few exceptions. This is because it's a different payment model and units are not paying for listening access. Other units can have Listening Explorer, which is free with their Sprinklr seat. Presentations allow for creating presentation reports with live data. Link in Bio allows them to create a link in bio feature for their Instagram account. Not all units like this or want this, so we typically leave it off, but tell them about it and then turn it on if and when they want to have that feature. Gallery allows users to embed their social media content within a website. Again, not all units want this, so we typically leave it off unless they ask us to turn it on. That just helps keep their interface a little more streamlined. Newsletter is an email functionality that's being rolled out by Sprinklr. We don't use it on campus at this point, but it could be something useful in the future. And tech integrations is used for high analytics access, people that are adding web analytics or link shortener access, things like that. It's typically only used within our analytics team in University Communications, but there are a few units with more robust analytics capabilities who have asked us to turn that on. Once the module access is assigned, then you can assign permissions. The options under permissions will vary depending on what module access is granted. For permissions related to settings, there's campaign events and tags, folders and tasks, and macros, and unit admin. The only one you need to grant here for units is unit admin to add and deactivate their accounts. For monitoring dashboards, we can go ahead and give manage level access. Generally, the 3 tiers of access are view, which allows just viewing, no changing. Edit can make some minor changes. Manage can make major changes, even delete. If the unit only has 1 seat, we give them manage level. If they have multiple seats, we ask if they want things more locked down. For reporting insights, again, manage. Admin is for analytics team access within university communications when they need to control settings for API connections and data exports. For publishing, they need planner in order to see the editorial calendar, proactive in order to publish outbound content, and reactive in order to respond to inbound content. Approval is only needed if there are multiple seats involved and they need an approval workflow. For asset management, again, view is the lowest level, edit can make changes, manage can delete. With only 1 seat, we'll give manage. Same option with Listening Explorer and with presentations. Now that permissions have been assigned, we'll assign the user to different user groups. We'll add it for the specific department or programs they need to be added to, as well as the overall user group. Default handles are an option that may be useful if they have multiple X or Twitter handles. For now, we'll leave this empty. Assignment capacity we also leave empty, but that is a workflow option if users wish to explore it. User skills we historically haven't used, but it's something that can be added. Then roles get assigned based on our selections above, and we can add additional roles here. You don't need to, it'll pre-populate based on user groups. If they had multiple user seats and wanted an approval workflow, and this seat couldn't publish without approval, I would check publishing approval mandatory and select the seat that needs to approve. Since this demo account only has 1 seat, I'm going to leave that off. When I hit save, Sprinklr will send an email inviting the user to activate their Sprinklr account, change their password, and log in. Once they've logged in, they'll have access to all of the dashboards, macros, and settings that have been shared with them based on the user groups they were added and the user groups that those permissions were given to. On occasion, a change is needed for a Sprinklr user, or a seat needs to be deactivated. You can see in the list of users which seats are active and which seats are not active. You can edit the user settings here by clicking edit. I could change activity here by checking is active. I can change permissions, change user groups, etc. I can also reactivate an account that's inactive right from this menu by clicking activate.